All right, class, we're moving on to Module 3. That means next week is the halfway point, midterms. Also spring break for traditional students. So if you notice, I actually have Module 3 and Module 4 open. So if you're going to be away on spring break, you can do it early if you would like. But just note that you will have Module 4 to complete. So make sure you're paying attention to that. I wanted to stop by and spend a few moments with you reviewing what we did in Module 2 and also in Module 3. So Module 2 was an introduction to what is criminology. And criminology is the look or trying to explain why criminal behavior exists. Why do people commit criminal activity? So within this chapter, you have the opportunity to peruse several different theories. You have classical, neoclassical, biological, psychological, sociological theories saying people commit crimes. Classical school says free will. You commit a crime because you want. The Hinduistic calculations, pain versus pleasure. As humans, we seek pain and avoid pleasure. So looking at that and what is the purpose of punishment? So in that chapter, that's what I was hoping that you were able to get. Your discussion board for that assignment was to actually identify a crime that had happened within the week and use, based off of what you learned, what do you think, what theoretical perspective would be aligned with that? If somebody, for example, we had the young lady who cut the baby out of the mother, had the mother come to buy baby clothes, and then she cut the baby out of the mother. After reading the facts of that case, and again, this was just something to introduce you to. You're not supposed to be an expert and know, but after looking at that, I wanted you to identify what theory would you say why that person acted the way she acted, and then you were going to support that with that theory. So, based off of biological theories, what are the key components of a biological theory? Why would you identify it with that? So that's what the purpose of Module 2 was. And again, remember in an intro class, we're just touching a little bit on each. So, for example, when you're ready to fully dive into that, you would take criminology. That's when you're going to spend a lot of time in that. But I did want you to understand that there are different theories and different reasons as to why people say people commit criminal activity. Were you raised in that environment? Is it a learned behavior? Is it none of the above? You just choose to do it. Chapter 3, we're going into looking at the measurement of crime. How do we measure crime? How do we know if crime is increasing or decreasing? What tools do we use for that? So that's where you're going to look at the UCR, Uniform Crime Report. Who's responsible for the UCR? Then you're going to look at the NCVS, the National Crime Victimization Survey. Who's responsible for that survey? What are the difference between that? Your discussion board is actually designed for you to look at those questions. You have part 1 and part 2 offenses in the UCR, violent crimes. And in your discussion board, you're reading each, and I want you to identify from the UCR and the part 1 offenses which crime has been committed. You will notice that in this discussion board, you won't be able to view what somebody else has posted until after you have posted your discussion board. So once you post your discussion board, then you'll be able to view others. If you have any questions, you know I'm always here for you. I would encourage you to, again, look at the paper requirement for your paper that's due in Module 6. So next week, we're moving on to Module 4. That'll be 2 more weeks left. Next week, you have your midterm, which will cover the chapters 1 through 4 up until that point. So just make sure you're staying abreast, reading. Again, if you have any questions, I am always here. Look forward to reading your post. I'll talk to you soon.